What's up, everybody? You are listening to Locked On Now NHL, local experts with the biggest stories on the ice. I'm your host, Daniella Bruce, and thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every weekday. A light night in the NHL schedule did not leave us with a shortage of drama or goals. Let's start with our biggest game, a high-scoring one in Philadelphia.
The biggest game.
The Philadelphia Flyers lost again on Monday night. Apparently, a new coach wasn't the only fix Philly needed. The losing streak is now at 9 for Philadelphia, and Locked On Flyers tells us how the team looked under new leadership.
Hi, this is Rachel with the Locked On Flyers podcast, here with your post-game reaction to the Flyers' 7-5 loss to the Colorado Avalanche. This was the Flyers' 9th loss in a row and the first game of the Mike Yeo head coaching era. Flyers certainly did do some good things in this game that we haven't seen much of recently. They tried to manage puck possession better with more carry-ins than dump and chase style. Power play had a lot more movement to it, and I think the game overall just had a little bit more jump than we have seen from this team over the last stretch. They hadn't scored more than 3 goals since October, so getting 5 in this one is a good start. I think what ultimately led to their demise is that the Avs are just a better team. They have a lot more speed, and when you have a defense that's prone to some mistakes, which the Flyers are definitely doing a lot of right now, the Avs are just going to take advantage of that. The Flyers also took too many penalties in the game, and, they had a 5-on-3 against in the third period, which led to the goal that was the dagger in this one. Martin Jones faced 50 shots in this game, but, he was also maybe not at his best, so there's a couple he probably wants back. For more on this game and the Flyers all season long, tune into the Locked On Flyers podcast.
And now let's take a look at the rest of the action from around the NHL.
Let's go around the league.
The Devils scored early, but not often enough to beat the Senators at home in regulation. And once things got to a shootout, Ottawa found a way to escape New Jersey with a win. Locked On Devils was not happy post-game that Jersey let this one slip away.
What's up? This is Trey Matthews of Locked On Devils, and here is my post-game reaction. So, the New Jersey Devils, we finally got a point, but this game was a pretty bad game for them because they took the Ottawa Senators into a shootout. To give you some reference, this was the first time this season that the Ottawa Senators went into a shootout, and the Devils struggled to do anything with them. They were able to score on Anton Forsberg within the first 35-second frame in period number 1, thanks to Damon Severson, so I believe that the Devils would run away with this game. However, they had a lot of great shot opportunities. However, it just didn't translate into anything. I saw Jack Hughes get a good opportunity. I saw Dawson Mercer get a good opportunity. Damon Severson got another great opportunity later in the game. But the Devils were really lucky that they did not lose this game in regulation, because period number 2 was just not their period. Period number 3 was just lackadaisical. So overall, just not a great team effort. It seemed like they were just playing on a prayer. And overall, it was just not a good effort against a lowly Senators team. No disrespect, but that is not a game in which we should be sending it into a shootout, OT, whatever the case might be. That is a team we should have beaten, especially if we want to put some more points on the board. So the Devils are coming off a very tough loss against the Winnipeg Jets, who were, at the time of that game, were 3 positions away from dead last in the Central. And then you got the Ottawa Senators, who aren't really doing that much better, and we couldn't get anything out of it. So out of those 2 games, we've only got 1 point. So it's definitely very frustrating in the midst of these last few games for the Devils, because their offense hasn't been really good, their defense hasn't been really that good, and it was just not a good effort for them all around.
While the Flyers' losing streak climbed up to 9 games, the Dallas Stars' win streak hit 7 games last night when they beat up on the Arizona Coyotes. Dallas scored a bunch in the third period to pull away, and Locked On Stars gives you the full recap.
Oh my goodness, the box. What's in the box? What's in the box? I'll tell you what's in the box. It's the Dallas Stars' 7th straight win. What's up, everyone? Dane Lewis here with the Locked On Stars podcast, coming to you after the Stars' 4-1 win over the Arizona Coyotes at the American Airlines Center. Huge win for the Dallas Stars, huge for them to set the tone for the week, because now they do have a 3-game road trip out west, some dates with Vegas, Los Angeles, and San Jose. Dallas needed these 2 points to, like I said, build momentum. Huge night for the captain, Jamie Benn, scoring the last 2 goals of the game to put the game out of reach. Big night for Jacob Peterson, who scored a goal. And of course, a big night for the best top line in the NHL. Rupe Hintz got the scoring started for the Stars. It was not the prettiest win, as was the case with the Stars' last matchup with the Coyotes just a few days ago. But the Stars will take what they can get. They found a way to close out this game despite not playing their best hockey through the first and second period, and that's huge for this team. The momentum continues to be built, and we will see if the Stars can now break the franchise record of 7 straight wins and improve it to 8 and start making history as a team this season. And I'm excited to see how this team will compete over their next 3 games on the road.
The Kraken debut season stayed rocky after a big loss to the Penguins, but Locked On Kraken is always staying positive as Seattle is still getting its sea legs in the NHL.
Tough one tonight against the Pittsburgh Penguins at Climate Pledge Arena. My name is Erica Lindsay Ayala. I'm your host of Locked On Kraken. And as we talked about on today's episode, Monday's episode, a team that Dave Haxtell called fast and hard was too much for this Seattle Kraken team to handle. We saw that Philip Grubauer was pulled after the first 3 goals in the first period. Joey Decord went the rest of the way. It was Jordan Eberle, coming back to the lineup after getting over a little bit of an injury, scores the lone goal for the Seattle Kraken. Not a great game. We'll break it down more on Tuesday's episode of Locked On Kraken.
And that's a wrap for us today. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every day. For more on the National Hockey League and your team, make your second listens Locked On NHL, and of course, tune into your team's local Locked On podcast. I'm Daniella Bruce, and this has been Locked On Now.